Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Today's crypto project in focus is Solana and its corresponding token SOL, which according to its website, it is a decentralized blockchain built to enable scalable, user-friendly apps for the world. It is currently ranked 7th on the list of cryptos based on circulating market cap. And before continuing, a quick summary of what is in store for today's video. So I will elaborate on Solana, some key features and use cases, partnerships and related news, ways to buy and access or store your SOL tokens, two price analyses, we're focusing on one in particular, and then a general crypto market update. As a disclaimer, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. I would like to start with some of the reported benefits linked to the blockchain or the project. Some appealing features that come to mind. We've got over 2,100 live transactions per second. Still a lot of room for improvement, of course. The average cost per transaction, a fraction of a cent, and there are over 1,000 validator nodes, part of their decentralized system. I imagine this will keep on growing. There is an increasing number of projects being built on Solana. Some other advantages listed here. Scale for global adoption. Never deal with fragmented layer 2 systems or sharded chains. Their scalability ensures transactions remain less than 1 cent for both developers and users. The transaction fees linked to Ethereum is something that has provoked the ire of many people. But focusing on Solana, fast forever. It's all about speed with 400 millisecond block times. As the hardware gets faster, so does the network. Decentralized and unstoppable, it claims to be censorship resistant. It will remain open for applications to run freely and transactions will never be stopped. And then the various ways for different stakeholders to get involved. This is what is called the white paper. It's the project blueprint, and every blockchain project or crypto should have something similar to this. So a main scientific paper. And many of these would also have something called a light paper, so a condensed and easier to understand version. A link to this and other resources will be available in the description. As alluded to earlier on their homepage, as the hardware gets faster, so does the network. If constant improvements are being made, this should allow for many more transactions per second and something that can cope with institutional grade requirements very easily throughout the world in real time. Moving along to some use cases, tying with partnerships as well. If you go to ecosystem, it will provide a list of the numerous projects in different sectors as part of the cryptosphere. So we have DeFi, decentralized exchanges or DEXs, regular exchanges, a few dApps in the meantime. There is integration with various stable coins. It's still early days for Solana. They've got fierce competition from Ethereum, over 2,800 dApps, not to mention all of the use cases with DeFi, NFTs, these automated market makers or AMMs. Early days, but the overall space is still a nascent industry. I will elaborate on competing blockchains in the price analysis section, so stick around for that. Moving on to some news and partnerships. Before covering the first story, just pointing this out, it's the Solana ecosystem news through their website, and it gives you a synopsis of some of the key events that have happened since the last update. So these updates occur every 4 to 5 weeks, thereabouts, and just skimming through this here, just to show you on the screen what this involves. It's a good way to keep up to date straight from the source with what is happening in relation to Solana. But the first and by far the biggest story to cover in this video is this announcement from Grayscale through Decrypt. Crypto investment house Grayscale has added Solana and Uniswap to the $495 million digital large cap fund in its latest quarterly rebalancing. The allocations mark the first time the New York-based company has added Solana to an investment vehicle. The fund bought Solana and Uniswap by selling some of its other assets in the fund. It has decreased its Bitcoin allocation by about 5% since the last rebalancing. So there's more information in that Decrypt piece, but I would like to go to Grayscale's website just to show you how this looks, and of course not paid advertising. A couple of things here. They only have it available at the time of recording this as an asset within their digital large cap fund, or just this diversified portfolio as shown here. If you scroll down to the composition, Solana, 3.45% of the fund. It's the fourth largest allocation, although well behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. That could change over time. The thing I found interesting though, as part of the single asset funds, it's not yet available, but they've got lesser known cryptos as individual asset trusts. That I find very peculiar. I expect this to change over time. Almost certain they will add Solana to this list, probably in the next 12 months. Just my thoughts. See what happens. That is a huge announcement, boosting the profile of Solana. Grayscale is the largest digital asset fund manager. They've been in the space for several years now. I anticipate other fund managers will follow suit. They'll see the benefits, especially with a rising Solana price. There was a noticeable jump in the price after this announcement. On to the next article, as there is a lot to cover. Aave to launch on Solana and Avalanche. Why this is significant? It's the main DeFi platform listed here, or based on the data from DeFi Pulse, predominantly involved in lending. It says multi-chain, launched on Ethereum. It's now branching out onto different blockchains. It's promising to see Aave and other DeFi projects giving these Ethereum competitors a go. There is a corresponding crypto briefing article here talking about this. The next one, this is from Pyth or Pyth Network. It's a project that is running on Solana. They've got this post. It says, "We are thrilled to have CoinShares Co., a leading digital asset investment firm, joining the Pyth network as we both look towards providing the means to bolster a flourishing and more transparent digital ecosystem." It links to this article here. If I look at the company, they seem to be fairly prominent in Europe in regards to digital assets. The list of products there. So it's good to see we've got these Solana affiliated projects that are teaming up with these different companies. Europe is a large market to tap into, so I see plenty of growth potential there. Many opportunities around the world. The next one here, this is in relation to NFTs and being able to send and receive Solana. So this is the Phantom wallet. Also allows you to collect your NFTs, and I believe will continue to remain relevant and grow. So there's Phantom. We have Radium as well. That's in relation to DeFi. One of the countless number of DeFi projects. When you consider the various blockchains we have, nearly $1.5 billion of total value locked and more than $20 billion of total trading volume. I came across this article from Solana News. Radium Drop Zone to launch Playground's Waves NFT collection. More NFT action on Solana. There is this piece. Solana taps into Arweave for decentralized storage. I know of some competitors such as Sia Coin and Storage showing interest in decentralized storage. This piece here from Decrypt, it mentions instead of building its own storage layer, Solana incorporated a solution from Arweave. The result could be a win-win for the two projects. In regards to collaborations and a potential win-win, I wouldn't be surprised at some point if Solana maintains its momentum and Filecoin remains relevant, which has a much higher market cap than Arweave. If they can form a partnership, I think that will benefit both projects. If I return to their website, they've got other partnerships listed here, just quickly mentioning FTX and Alameda Research chose Solana. More than $4 billion transacted since their inception. USDC, stablecoin, chose Solana for fast global settlement. More than $2 billion issued on Solana. There is this corresponding communique. Circle and Solana partner to bring USDC to Solana blockchain. It's noteworthy because both USDC and Tether are either being run or will be run on Solana. Both launched on Ethereum, like many other projects, are now having compatibility with Solana's ecosystem. These two also represent the two largest stablecoins based on circulating market cap. It's a promising trend. Let's see what happens in the coming months. And moving on to the different marketplaces and trading pairs relating to Sol, just focusing on some of the major exchanges. Binance, Coinbase Pro, and that's also available through the regular Coinbase. Kraken, got Huobi, and the various trading pairs there. So that's information through Live Coin Watch. Moving on to the different wallets. The first one that comes to mind, for those who want to keep your crypto secure and have full access of the private keys, and take it off an exchange. There is the Ledger wallet, well, they've got the Nano S and X. Looking at their supported cryptos, if we type in Solana, you can send and receive and also stake your Sol tokens. The supported wallet listed here is Solflare. Another popular hardware wallet that I would usually suggest is Trezor. However, they do not provide support for Solana at the moment. I am still mentioning it because at some point I believe they will offer the compatibility with the tokens, as it is a major crypto. Moving on to desktop and mobile wallets, there is Exodus. A very sleek and user-friendly platform. So they provide support for Solana and they also offer staking if you want to delegate your crypto to the network. Atomic Wallet, another popular option, and on their main page, it has Solana staking with 7% APY and further information there. Other wallets you can use, you have the option to create a wallet even if you don't have a ledger. So it's a non-custodial wallet for Solana. Some alternatives include Solong, one place to manage all your Solana assets, and dApps. For an updated list, it is best to check out Solana's website, the wallets as shown here. I find as well, if your favorite hardware wallet does not provide the compatibility with Solana, the more people that email them requesting this, the more likely it is they would actually list it. Now that I've covered that, let's move on to the price analysis. Before going through these price targets, you will notice I've mentioned these are at a 350 million circulating supply. A quick summary of the token statistics. At present, the circulating supply is about 286 million tokens. The total supply just above 500 million. And what we need to consider is Solana's inflation rate. So this is straight from their website, Staking and Inflation FAQ. Solana's initial inflation rate is 8% annually, decreasing by 15% year over year, reaching a long-term fixed inflation rate of 1.5% annually. Based on these inflation data, I've come up with the 350 million Sol figure. Jumping into this, the first target I have is $300 per Sol. I will acknowledge, because I expect this to happen a lot sooner than the others, I have a 300 million token circulating supply. I think it's a lot more plausible where we are now. This would equate to a $90 billion circulating market cap. I would say this is fairly straightforward considering the $215 all-time high that we've reached. I would say more exchanges and trading pairs, a market-wide bull run should comfortably get it over the line there. Ongoing scalability improvements as the network matures and we get these technological advancements. Moving to the next target, we have $600 per token. That would equate to a $210 billion circulating market cap. Once again, with the general growth of the crypto space over time, when you look at the trends for other cryptos, particularly over the past 12 months, it's been very strong. Solana has benefited immensely from this. Specifically thinking of Solana, it has been one of the best performing cryptos in the top 100. It's increased by a whopping 4,700% just over the past year, and it's still looking pretty strong. All of these figures that I'll cover, they're all plausible when you consider the past performance. I doubt we'll see that impressive growth being replicated, but there is still a lot of potential. Returning to these points, we've got greater adoption of projects being run on Solana. As I covered earlier in the news and partnerships, there are projects being run on Solana or collaborations being made, especially when it comes to, we've got DeFi, NFTs, there's decentralized storage, stablecoins being run on this. So plenty of adoption and that interest and investment from several institutional investors. This would become a lot more prominent at these higher targets, assuming we get to these. I will reiterate, none of this is guaranteed. On top of all of this, we would definitely need more supported wallets, particularly with cold storage. I mentioned Trezor earlier. They will have to list Sol. I can't understand otherwise. There would be other hardware wallets too. Having more options, giving people more opportunities to purchase and trade and keep their Sol tokens safe, all of these things should boost the price. So moving on to the next target here, this is where it starts to get pretty ambitious. $1,000 per Sol. That would be a $350 billion circulating market cap based on the aforementioned supply. Widespread commercial and government use. I would anticipate if it were to get this big, you would have PayPal taking an interest in this. They see where the space is going. We know cryptos and distributed ledger technology is here to stay. I would not be surprised to see this in the coming years. With the PayPal listing, usage as a payment method, possibly. I'm just floating these ideas as possibilities for these higher targets. And naturally, you would have a growing number of partnerships and more use cases. Before moving on to the final price target, there is another news story. I will cover it now as it is important to acknowledge. In brief, what happened on the 14th of September, the Solana network was offline for 17 hours. No funds were lost, and the network returned to full functionality in under 24 hours. Without going through the whole article, it mentions it was a denial of service attack. Grape Protocol launched their IDO on Radium. I did mention Radium earlier, hence why I'm bringing this up. And bots generated transactions which flooded the network. Now, I encourage you to go through this piece. A few lines here towards the end that I found quite interesting. There's a big difference between an outage like this happening on a centralized network like Amazon Web Services and a decentralized network like Solana. If AWS crashes, users have to trust Amazon to bring it back to the right state. The credit and obligation for restoring network operations on any blockchain is in the hands of the community. Operators across the world work together to reach a solution and restored functionality. It's important to acknowledge when these issues occur, and they should be resolved as soon as possible. To fix it in less than 24 hours, I would say is reasonable. As these decentralized systems improve, they will most likely be the more secure choice, is still the way to go. Why I am throwing this in here, for the price targets section, if there were several issues repeatedly occurring, that would probably dampen some confidence in potential investors or those in the current community. And that's the reason why by having all of these competing blockchains, should force all blockchain projects to get their act together and realize there could be someone else coming along and taking a lot of market share. This relates to the last price target of $2,000 per SOL, a $700 billion circulating market cap, an enormous amount of money to go into this protocol. We have to factor in competition, or even earlier at the lower targets. As I have covered in previous videos, there are other crypto projects out there with their respective blockchains wanting to take some of the market share from Ethereum, become prominent. They want to tap into this huge and growing market with NFTs, DeFi, decentralized applications, smart contracts, the AMMs, all of these different use cases for crypto. To reiterate, we know it is still the leading platform for dApps. Hundreds of millions of dollars in volume is going through Ethereum. A huge amount of potential for some of these projects to then migrate onto other chains, or at least adopt several chains, as has occurred with Aave and here as well with Curve Finance. We have the launch of smart contracts from Cardano. Avalanche has raced into the top 20 and has seen some incredible growth as well. There's Polkadot, more as an interoperability platform. You have Binance Smart Chain that has really erupted over the past 12 months. Which ones will remain dominant in 5 to 10 years? I look forward to your feedback about that in the comments section. Competition should be in the back of everyone's minds when it comes to these very ambitious price targets. You can't simply rely on the past price performance to say these are a shoo-in. The space is very dynamic. We have to treat this as a marathon and not a sprint. It's still early days for the crypto space. The last point I've got here, the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, or the equivalent for SOL. A quick digression here just to illustrate what I'm referring to. It's a global community of blockchain leaders, adopters, innovators, developers, and businesses from around the globe collaborating to bring about solutions for the benefit of everyone. In due course, I envisage those behind the Solana ecosystem will establish a similar alliance. Before finishing this price analysis, just as an illustration, I always like to have things in perspective. The current market caps of some popular cryptos and $2,000 per SOL. So whilst this is at a 350 million token circulating supply, it could be higher or lower depending on the token price once the circulating supply gets to 350 million tokens. It helps illustrate what numbers we're dealing with. I have listed here over 100 major partnerships required. This is an arbitrary figure. Definitely some exciting times ahead. How high do you think this price will be in 6 months, 12 months, 5 years time? If you had to take a wild guess, see what you have to say. There is an additional price range, not so much a target here, but I'm saying beyond $2,000 per Sol, not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not holding my breath. If Sol can maintain a high number of transactions per second, the overall security of the network, keep the prices down with transactions, and have a high throughput with the number of transactions per second, keep on fostering these new partnerships, they can do all of that. I have many reasons to believe we could go beyond $2,000 per Sol. This is the alternate price analysis. I just want to skim through this one. For this example, I have denominated the price of Sol in Bitcoin and also US dollars involved here. But nonetheless, it's one crypto to another. It's another way of representing the price of Sol or at different amounts and targets, or you could choose any crypto and then run this scenario. If you imagine amounts of Sol, what the equivalent would be in Bitcoin now, and plausible amounts at Bitcoin price points in the future. As a quick explanation, if you have 100 Sol at $500 per token, at $100,000 per Bitcoin, you would get half a Bitcoin, and so on. A very quick reminder as well, just to reiterate, not financial advice. These are just hypothetical scenarios, just some food for thought, and wrapping up the video, today's market update from CoinGecko. Today's the 5th of October. The price is as follows. Looking at some of the major cryptos, Bitcoin on the cusp of hitting $50,000 once again. It's kind of teasing us. It has done fairly well over the past 7 days. Ethereum, $3,400. Cardano, $2.22. Triple two. Binance Coin, $433. Solana, $166. The star of the show. XRP, $1.05. Polkadot, $31.53. Dogecoin, picking up once again, 23 cents. Terra has continued its excellent run in recent months. In fact, throughout the whole year, it's now $45. Let's have a look at some of the biggest winners and losers over the past 7 days. Axie Infinity adding to its gargantuan increases over the past 12 months, and that is not an exaggeration. It's been doing exceptionally well. Shiba Inu, 93% for the week. OMG Network coming back up the ranks again, 79% up. It's $16.60. Icon, Olympus, Qtum, Tezos also doing well. Arweave, Flow, Clayton and VeChain all up above 30%. Some of the biggest losses, very little in the red. Bcash, ABC, down 17%. Compound, there was a hack recently, so that's probably why it's down 8%. Decentralized Social, XDC Network, it's down about 6%. And a few others. Everything else is in green. It's been doing very well. The overall market, 2.25 trillion US dollars. It's up 2.5% for the day. Bitcoin's market cap dominance just above 41%. And apparently 9,525 coins registered here. I think about 9,400 too many in my opinion. But hey, that's just, each to their own. Thank you for watching and taking an interest in Solana. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with my latest content. If you have something to say, or you just want to say g'day, by all means leave your feedback in the comments section. More videos coming soon. Thanks again and talk to you shortly. See ya.